Okay, so we got a cold day in Finland. It's 10 past 12, and it's minus 15.5 degrees. That's the bottom temperature, and inside it's 20.7 at the moment. So just turn the camera. So somebody asked about coping with cold weather in Finland. So I'm going to do a video all about that, show you all the different kind of bits and pieces, the devices. So the first thing is insulation. So it's not uncommon in Finland to have triple or quadruple glazed windows. There's no natural gas used at all here. It's all done with electric. It always has been the case. Most of the heating in our house is done through underfloor. It's powered by an air source, quite a big air source heat pump. These have been going in Finland for a very long time. I'll talk about those as well. In the summer it can get pretty hot here, so you need air conditioning. So this unit, it's again another air source heat pump. This one, it can provide cooling in the summer and also extra heat if you need it in the winter. There's also another one upstairs, and this one is just always used for cooling in the summer. It's never used for heating because it's just not needed. Here's one of the air source pumps. These cost between £1,000 and £2,000, so not expensive at all. I think that was including somebody to come and fit it in as well. Okay, so this is our heating room. So most houses in Finland, or many houses in Finland, will have their own separate heating room. So I'll show you what's inside ours. This is the control system for this much bigger air source heating, air source heat pump. That's a radiator to keep this room warm itself, so the pump doesn't freeze. It's pretty warm inside here. I think that's for holding water or something. It's loads and loads of pipes. I don't really kind of fully understand it. The pump for that one, so it's a much bigger. Oh, it's quite a bit bigger than the other pumps. But it works according to, there's a difference between the inside and the outside air temperature, and it works like that. The thing to say about it is that it definitely does work. So the big question then is, why are heat pumps unpopular in England? Why don't they work in England? And using an analogy, I would say it's probably like trying to expect a nuclear power station to pull a horse and cart. The horse and cart being Victorian houses in England with barely any insulation, with hot water systems that are based on heating up hot water, which is then pumped through radiators. It's just not going to work. So I agree. Either the housing stock in England needs to radically change, or you need another way of heating, because I don't think, maybe it's also the climate here. We have much drier winters than you guys do, in the sense that we have much less humidity in the air. And I think that helps air source heat pumps work better, but most houses have them here. You've seen from the inside of the house. We only had the main system on today, and it was pretty warm inside, even though it was like minus 15 and a bit outside. Yeah, so I'm just going to talk a little bit more about air source heat pumps. So, because there'll be people that automatically will jump on this and go, "Oh, he's a shill. He's World Economic Forum." So let me just explain something here. So first of all, I don't believe that governments should pass legislation that force people into doing anything, including installing air source heat pumps. Second point is, the housing stock in the UK is old, but I do not believe that the government should force people into insulating their homes or knocking them down and building something newer and better. I believe in free choice. So if people want to do that, fine. If I was to go back to the UK, that's probably what I would do, is that I would buy some land and build a modern house that's insulated on that. But that doesn't mean that I'm with the World Economic Forum and I want compulsory purchases or compulsory legislation that forces anybody to do anything. So I'm just going to say that now to short circuit people in the comments who will all just go, oh, he's a shill. Clothes are obviously important, so natural fibres like these wool socks, really thick wool socks, these are like essentials really for going outside in the winter, keep you really nice and warm, and they're not like man-made fibres and you don't sweat with them. These are a pair of over trousers, so I'm not sure I will even wear these today, but these work by mostly by being completely windproof, waterproof, quite light. Yeah, if you walking long distances, those are in, I don't know, -20, I'd definitely wear those. Can also get slippy, so these are the boots that I use. So you'll see they've got little studs on the bottom, so they stop you from slipping on the ice, and these are absolutely brilliant. There is a technique as well for walking on ice. You can't walk like you would do in the UK because you'll just slip over. The best, I reckon you could get these off Amazon, something like that. The brand that I know is one that's made in Sweden called Ice. That's ICE, and then Bug, B-U-G. I'm not sure, these are Ice Tech, I don't know where these came. These might be just made in China or something, but they're really well insulated as well, so highly recommended. Another must is a good pair of gloves, so these are what I might wear if I'm going into town or something. So again, they're made of wool, handmade ones. A lot of Finns will have stuff like this, you know, a range of woolly hats that you've seen me wear. The cars are an interesting one. So how do you drive when everything's icy? Well, answer, you need to drive differently. I've done a whole video about that, about how to drive on snow and ice, and you do get better at it. These are winter tyres. There's no studs on these. I think you can buy these in the UK. I think the rubber's a slightly different mixture, and it has better grip in low temperatures. Yeah, these work okay. My car though, I've gone for studded ones, so it's the same rubber mixture, but there's these little metal studs, so these are actually very, very good when you have thick ice. Even so though, you will still slide around. If you drive like an idiot, you'll still end up in a ditch even with studded tires, you know. So the main thing really is just to sort of quickly clarify is don't brake or step on the gas aggressively when going through a corner. Slow down well before you get to a corner. Don't try, as I say, brake or do anything funky on a corner. Just let the car go around. You also need some basic car control as well, you know, like to handle an oversteer or what to do when your car understeers. So I've got a video all about that, driving in the snow in Finland or something like that. Get your car to, so how do you get your car to start when it's -15 or -20, -30 even? Basically you need one of these, which is, it heats up the engine. So what you do is you have one of these that's connected to mains electricity, and that heats up the oil in the engine block, so the car starts. Another essential is an auxiliary heater inside the car, which you can use. You know, this is my wife's car, so she normally will get up, put this on. It's on a timer for, let's say, 6 in the morning. She'll leave it on for half an hour, 40 minutes or something, and then when she gets into the car, it's all toasty warm, and it will melt all that ice on the outside, so you don't have to do any of that ice clearing stuff. Where I live in Pori, they don't grit roads in the same way that they do in England, you know, with salt and stuff like that, because it would be pointless, because it, you know, the temperature's too cold. But the roads are ploughed, so the surface is actually quite nice. It's nice to cycle on as well. I cycle with a mountain bike, but I've also got another bike that's got studs on the front wheel as well. The other thing that I would say too is just to enjoy the winter time, to just get out and about and not to be afraid of the weather. So Finns say that there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothes, and you know, I would agree with them. It's an absolutely glorious day, and if you ask me, would I prefer plus 7 degrees, overcast, cloudy, quite dark all day in England? Or would I prefer this, where it didn't get light until 9 o'clock in the morning? It'll be dark at about 3:45 at the moment, and you have the rest of the day is actually, you know, blue sky, sun out. Yeah, I would prefer this any day of the week. Pavements are gritted though, or well, not gritted, they've got gravel on them, which helps if you don't have studded boots. That's a school, so at the moment they're all inside having a lesson, but you know, schools aren't cancelled or anything like that. It can be -30, you know, you can see their buses just run as normal. Everything is, people just get on with things, and I think in England, you know, I think there's a bit, I don't know, I think it stems from a poor work ethic, that any excuse, and it's like, call it off, the weather's too bad. So the other thing as well is just about enjoying things. So you can see here, this is an outdoor ice rink, and some dude's putting some more water on it to get a nice smooth surface for whoever's coming on here later. So it's a little attitude of mind. But you know, for me, put the right clothes on and don't be afraid of the winter, don't be afraid of the cold. So much of life, I think, is psychological, in that if you wanted to get down in the winter time and feel depressed or whatever, you can do that in either Finland or England. It's about learning to appreciate what you have. And in fact, that's something that Finns often say, is that you know, Finns are not afraid to say that they appreciate small things. Yeah, and I agree with that. I like that attitude. Another thing to say as well is that there's, apart from skiing and ice skating and going around on snowmobiles, there's plenty of other fun to be had if you actually embrace the winter time. You know, for example, I like going to watch the ice hockey. The local team in Pori play in the top division in the Finnish Ice Hockey League. It's a 60-game season, so they play 30 games at home. And I've got a season ticket, and the season ticket, I think it was 165 euros. So again, this is this sort of myth that many people have about Finland, that it's an expensive place to live. You know, 165 euros to go and watch 30 ice hockey games is pretty good value for money, I would say. So that's all I want to say today. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and God bless.